After that, I saw myself walking on the road, and my hands were tied behind my back, and two beings were beside me. So as we were walking, and we reached the gate. Beyond the gate, I could see so many graves of premature.
This is Favor, the 19-year-old girl who was killed in her dream. Favor narrated the story of how she slept and couldn't wake up until her pastor came to her rescue. But before then, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emmanuel Bernard. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also share it with your loved ones. By the end of the video, I'll play the full clips for you to watch and also say the things that she said by herself, and also for you to conclude if this miracle is real, is false, or maybe it's just superstitions. The 19-year-old girl went to her church to give a testimony of how she slumped and died. And when she went into the spiritual realm, her father, or rather her pastor, came to her rescue. On the occasion, she said she slept off based on not feeling so well. And before her dad could come to the room where she was lying, she has already stumbled and fall. She was vomiting. Saliva was all over her mouth, and she was not gaining conscious of herself. She was rushed to the hospital, but all of a sudden the doctor came out to give them the breaking news that she didn't make it. It was of no surprise as the mother fell on the floor screaming and shouting her lungs out. The father already called the pastor, which was their main church pastor, to inform him of what have just happened to his daughter, that she stumbled and died. The man of God prayed and also told them not to worry, that the girl is gonna be fine. So after a few minutes, the girl in question was able to wake up. In real life, they said it was just 5 minutes, but according to the girl, she said a lot of things happened within that 5 minutes that she was unconscious. She said her hands were tied back behind as she walked to the gate of hell. But the father, which is the pastor in the church, came to her rescue, telling them to shut the gate, that she is not meant to be there, that there's a tag on her, which means she should go back to earth. It is not yet her time to die. The story begins, and the story went so on and on. Don't worry, don't be in a rush to leave the video. I'll play you the full video as she wept, as she tell her story to the people. And believe me, miracles happen every day. So please watch the...
Praise the Lord. My name is Favor Douglas, and I'm an SS1 student of the Destiny Christian Academy.
An SS1 student of the Destiny Christian Academy. And this is her father. Maybe an SS2 student of this year.
You are sure it's not an SS2 student then?
It's just that he's got some white gimo. So please, such a drastic testimony actually. You'll tell us what happened on that fateful day and how God intervened.
Okay, good morning, church. I picked her up from school on the 31st of March, prior to the crossover night. And on Saturday morning, I was here for the crossover night. On Saturday morning, she was still sleeping. She was feeling weak. We woke her up to give her breakfast. And now this was around 10 a.m. She was feeling weak. So we moved her from the kitchen to the parlor, and I went back to the kitchen to get her a cup of tea. Upon getting back to the parlor to see her where she sat down, she had slumped, she had passed out, her neck was hanging and saliva was drooling from her mouth. I immediately rushed to her, held her head up. I was tapping her, trying to call her to respond. She wasn't responding. So I immediately called my wife. We rushed her to the hospital. She was unconscious for more than 30 minutes on our driveway to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, while the medical staff were trying to attend to her, my wife asked me to quickly reach out to the school chaplain of this year, Pastor Patrick, so that we can reach out to Daddy. I called him and he immediately prayed for her and sent a message across to Daddy. Immediately, Daddy replied with a text, "That child is recovered. That arrow is sent back to hell in Jesus' name." Not up to 5 minutes after that, Daddy called my line and prayed for her. And not too long after that, she recovered.
All right, between when that call was made and when she recovered, a lot happened that you were not aware of. Favor, come and tell us what happened. So Daddy brought you to the living room and then you passed out. That was the last you could remember. What happened afterwards? Just put yourself together. Go ahead.
After that, I saw myself walking on the road, and my hands were tied behind my back, and two beings were beside me. So as we were walking, and we reached the gate. Beyond the gate, I could see so many graves of premature deaths. And in front of the gate, I saw a tombstone with my name on it. They wrote my date of birth till this year. Under it was written, "Gone too soon."
Under it
Was written what?
Gone too soon.
That devil is a liar.
Gone too soon.
So before we could proceed to enter the gate, Daddy appeared in front of me in red. He was very angry. And then he asked
Appeared
the two
in front
beings-
of her with what?
Please give us some volume on this microphone. Appeared in red,
Like
and
this.
he was very angry. And Daddy is in red today, actually.
And he asked the two beings, "You mean to tell me you did not see the warning?" And they asked
You mean to tell me you did not see the warning?
which warning. And then there was a tag hanging on my neck. So Daddy turned the tag, and on the tag they wrote my name. They wrote Origin Dunamis. And under it they wrote, "Warning, do not trespass."
Hey! Hey! You mean you did not see the warning? Favor, name, origin, dunamis. Do not trespass.
So he said, "Loose her and let her go." They refused. They held me back. And then Daddy got very angry and roared. And the ground shook. And they got scared and they left me. Just then, Mommy now appeared and she carried me in her hands and started running. She ran long distance. We reached the road and ahead I could see light. And then she now said, she dropped me and she said I should run till I reach the light. As I continued running, I reached the light, and then I woke up and found myself in the hospital.
So what happened?
Then
So that was when the father realized that she came back to life, actually.
Then after that, they transferred me from the main hospital to the children's hospital. So while I was there in the ward, when my father was not around, the door opened and I looked to see who was coming inside. I didn't see anyone. And I now looked down and I saw 6 dwarfs carrying a coffin. Yes, this was physical. 6 dwarfs carrying a coffin into the room. And they started removing the drip from my hand. And then they wanted to carry me and put inside the coffin. Then Daddy appeared again and said, "Didn't I warn you before?" He kicked 6 of them into the coffin, closed the coffin, and kicked the coffin out of the room. And he turned to look at me and said, "Child, this is the last time death will be looking for you."
This is the last time death will be looking for you.
Hey!